You found it, finally. The one mock draft show to rule them all. So let's hit it. Let's hit it. Guys, really? I mean, that's the best you can do? Who says that? Who the hell says that? Hello, YouTube. I am Roger C., better known as Keep It Simple RC, and I love NFL mock draft season. So here goes, my own mock ahead of the 2022 NFL Draft. I will say, I don't mock trades because that would require genius-level thinking, and that ain't me. So try someone else. I don't know. Jake Asman, I guess. Somebody. Anyway, quick primer. I'm a huge fan of the New York Jets. I've been a willing fan since Ken O'Brien and Al Toon were playing their last couple of seasons in Kelly green and white. Mostly locked away on military bases for the better part of my upbringing. I didn't tether my fandom to any particular team growing up. That is, until my folks settled away from military life, and that's when I finally started getting really into the sport. So, I did what any kid would do. I convinced myself that I needed to hitch my wagon to a team. So I went with a team that played a few miles away from where I was born, in Flushing, Queens. The New York effing Jets. Anyways, never regretted the decision, but boy, did it hurt. A lot. That is until Parcells came to town and took us to the AFC Championship in '97, where we lost to the Broncos. Thanks, John Elway. Thank you very much. In any case, the draft. It's interesting how I'm putting this together. It's interesting to me how I'm putting this together. Yeah. So far, I've only got the first 5 picks mocked. And that's because I try to get into the psychology of every team's GM and their history. I know you have folks like Kuiper, Daniel Jeremiah, and of course, who could forget? Todd McFarlane. What was that? Did I say Todd McFarlane? Todd McShay. Classic mistake. Anyways, I only have 5 picks right now because I'm also old and exhausted, and I don't have the energy to go more than 5 picks at a time, so sorry, young whippersnappers. But let me be clear. If any of you ladies are out there thinking I can't go longer than 5 minutes, well, yeah, you'd be right, because I'm passing out every night around 7:30 p.m. Yeah, I'm just a tall drink of disappointment. That being said, I'm going to try to get out a mock every week until I've covered all 32 picks prior to the April 28th draft. After the draft, I don't know. Maybe I'll put out more content. You guys let me know. I don't know. Okay. Super duper. And away we go. Starting off with Jacksonville. All right. Not sure if anyone saw my initial mock I put out on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. I don't have many followers, but I'm sure somebody caught it. Anyways, I put it out a couple weeks ago. I've tweaked it a little bit since then. Probably should have known better than to put together a mock prior to the combine, but what can I tell you? Anyways, on my last mock, prior to Cam Robinson getting the tag, I said Jacksonville would take Kayvon Thibodeaux. I was probably tired that night, and I thought Balky was a complete idiot, but mostly it was because I never thought Jacksonville would let a young left tackle walk. You know, better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. You know that saying? You know that saying. That guy knows that saying. Okay, so I've cooled on that a bit, right? Now I'm operating under the assumption that Balky is only half half an idiot. Okay? Okay, he's super duper. So, who's going to Shitsville? Or as some would call it, the River City. And by some, I mean the 5 people who actually like Jacksonville. Well, I have the Jags taking Aiden Hutchinson. Why? Because they franchised Robinson, so they successfully applied duct tape to the left tackle situation, I guess. And, taking Neal or Kwanu at 1 to play right tackle would be stupid if you're a guy who values defense and doesn't want to be the guy who passes on Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, can you imagine being the guy who passed on Patrick Mahomes to take, Jamal Adams because you already had Josh McCown and Bryce Petty under center? Yeah, thanks, McCagnon. Oh, yeah. So, there are some amazing GMs in this league. Right? Right. Okay. Now that I said that out loud, sounds like something Balky would do. Something stupid. Balky would do something stupid, for those not quite sure about what I'm saying. Anyways, Balky. He's got a tendency of going defense early. And the consensus number 1 pick is Hutchinson. So there you go. Balky gets to go with his tendency, and no one can call him out for it. Okay? Next team. The Detroit Lions. So, Brad Holmes. He's been on the job going into his 2nd season now. Last year, he picked, is it Panay or Panay? I'm going to go with Panay Sewell. I'm going to say Panay Sewell. And boy, was that a steal. Mr. Holmes, he comes from the Les Snead School of Team Building. And what Mr. Snead teaches is that the draft is a crapshoot. You're better off trading high picks for proven players, and that's what Les has done over the last 5 years. So, what's that got to do with Brad Holmes? I don't know. I thought I'd throw that in there. Could be nothing. But he's had a chance to see how you can pick up talent in the later rounds. And seeing how Brad went BPA last year to take Sewell, he'll most likely repeat the strategy and ignore the chatter about character flaws. I mean, hell, Sewell sat out a full season before entering the draft. He even had a rocky start before the staff figured out he can actually play tackle in this league. Then, of course, Panay came down with COVID late last year, and talk about bad luck for a guy who sacrificed a season to avoid the thing he didn't want to get in college. But we don't talk about that. No, we don't. Especially if you're in Florida. But I'm talking about Detroit. Anyways, Holmes is going Thibodeaux at number 2 because why would you pass on a guy that has been a beast his whole life? Can't pass on talent, and that's something Brad Holmes has proven. He won't do that in the draft. He's not passing. He's taking Thibodeaux. Next team, the Texans. Yeah. You gotta love the Texans. This team is riding the Jesus train. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to lure Tim Tebow out of retirement. Did he retire? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? In any case, Jack Easterby, the Bible-thumping chaplain turned football VP, is praying to the Bible God to find a man that can beat the piss out of someone on Sundays. You know, the holy day when you're supposed to be praying for world peace while simultaneously praying to God that the guy you're bothered by will burn in hell because his flaws go against everything sacred you read in a book that kind of quotes the Bible, but not really. It just reinforces your prejudices. Yeah, that guy. Anyways, the duo Easterby and Nick Caserio, they're not sure. They don't know. They don't have a quarterback. And there's not one here that's worth the number 3 pick overall. Nick's going to channel his inner Bill Belichick and take the guy everyone is calling a unicorn. Now, he saw what Belichick does when he's got high draft picks, and if it's good enough for Bill, I mean, I want to be mini Bill when I grow up, you know, Casario, he got to see young Tom Brady win a Super Bowl behind a brilliant defensive effort that shut down the greatest show on turf. Hey, I mean, my Texans don't have a quarterback right now, but I saw a team win a Super Bowl with a baby behind center. Yeah, I'll take Kyle Hamilton to be my Ed Reed. Wait, scratch that. Maybe I should say he'll be my Gerard Cherry. Yeah, my team can win games with Gerard Cherry and with a defense. Until, that is, I find the next Tom Brady. Looking at you, Davis Mills. Next team. My team. The New York effing Jets. Who's Joe Douglas taking it for? I hear a lot of guys begging JD to take the best defensive player available because they're living in Darrelle Revis's world. I mean, us Jets fans, we talk a lot. But we don't do a very good job of listening to what our coach and GM are saying. I mean, can you blame us? I mean, we haven't been to a playoff in over a decade. I mean, we're desperate. I mean, come on. Desperate. Anyway, Coach Saleh, he said the best way to improve your secondary is by improving the pass rush. JD agrees with him. But there's only one problem. There is no edge worth taking it for. So JD is going to do what JD does, and he's going to draft for the future. The New York Jets will take Ikem Ekwonu with the 4th pick. Now, Douglas knows that Fant can play left tackle. He also knows that Becton is a better left tackle than Fant. The problem is that Becton has an injury problem, and Fant only has 2 years left on his deal. So he's not taking any chances here. He'll solidify the right side of his line and let the left tackle situation work itself out next year. Brilliant. Last man standing wins the left tackle spot, that is. Next team. The New York Giants. Oh, man. Boy, you guys really got screwed by Gettleman. I mean, Dave Gettleman is the Richie Kotite of GMs. I mean, there's no plan, there's no vision, no shit. I mean, so the Giants, they got Daniel Jones, they got Barkley, they got Andrew Thomas. I mean, they got Joe Shane, and they got Brian Dable. They just signed Tyrod Taylor. I mean, who happened to be with the Bills in 2017, so there's familiarity there. What did the Bills do with Tyrod? I mean, let's see. They gave him the starting job for one season, and they shipped him off to Cleveland to make room for Josh Allen. I see a lot of mocks sending Evan Neal to the Giants at 5, but I don't understand why. They have Andrew Thomas. Shane, is it Shane or Sean? No, I think it's Shane. Shane watched the Bills take a defensive tackle in 2019, then a defensive end in 2020, and then finally another defensive end in 2021. I don't see them going tackle at 5. Sorry. What I do see is that Shane was there when Taylor was traded in early March back in 2018. They brought in Taylor to be a mentor to a young quarterback, right? They're trying to make you believe it's Daniel Jones, but that's not the case. See, I know Carolina is trying to find a quarterback after fooling themselves into believing Darnold was worth anything. So, at 5, I don't see Shane taking any chances. He's throwing his chips in for Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. Jones, he'll probably be traded, to either the Colts or the Saints. I mean, I'd say Seattle, but Seattle probably wants Willis for themselves, so they're not about to take sloppy seconds from the Giants. So, yeah. All right, let's recap. Number 1, Aiden Hutchinson going to Jacksonville. Number 2, Kayvon Thibodeaux going to Detroit. Kyle Hamilton, the unicorn, he's going number 3 overall. And the Jets are taking Ike Ekwonu at 4, which leaves the New York Giants finding their new quarterback at number 5 with Malik Willis. Drop a comment. Tell me how insane I am. Call me an a-hole. I don't know. Do something. This is what I see, all right? So, give me a break. Yeah, it's what I'm doing. I mean, look, since when has a draft ever made sense to anyone? I mean, I've seen the Jets take 2 safeties on days 1 and 2, for Christ's sake. All right, let me know what you think. I'll put out another 5 picks next week for all you savages, all right? For all my fellow Jets fans, sleepy time's over. It's all gas, no break.